LJ, what is your number one tip for every streamer starting out? You guys really in a Q&A video want me to give you my number one tip for every single streamer? All right, fine. My number one tip for every single streamer coming up at the end of this video. My phone's not even on. I just had to pretend I had something to write on. Let's go. Hey, I'm Eljay with streamscheme.com. I'm also a variety streamer over at twitch.tv/LJM_. There's a link in the description to that, as well as streamscheme.com, a place with over 600 guides for all things streaming related. If there isn't a video on this channel or you can't find answers, then maybe check out streamscheme.com or our Discord, both linked down there. You might be thinking, now Eljay, everyone knows that if you do a Q&A video, you're essentially saying you just didn't have a video prepared that week. And today I'm going to be doing a Q&A and answering your questions. If you missed out submitting a question this time, then don't worry, you can submit one in our Discord or using the Google form in the description down below, so go check those out. You guys asked some really important questions, and they're questions I've been answering in Discord or in the YouTube comments or on Twitter for like 6 or 7 months now, but I'm really excited to be answering these in a video because honestly, I think that a lot of these questions you guys asked will make or break whether or not you're able to continue. It's stuff like motivation, stuff like dealing with burnout, how to use certain features on Twitch, so we're going to cover all of those today. But there are time codes in the description, so if you want to, you can skip ahead to any particular question you want. Just like today, I'm going to skip ahead to our sponsor, Own.tv. Own.tv are your one-stop shop for all things streaming related. You guys have heard me talk about them 1,000 times. But one of the things submitted in the Q&A today was asking how I can get good overlays without overloading my CPU. Well, that's the best part about Own.tv, is that they've actually got modular designs, meaning you can just pick and choose whatever parts you want without overloading your CPU inside OBS or Streamlabs OBS. Seriously, go check them out. There's a link in the description. And if you want to support us, guys, go support them because they support the channel and it helps us out. Let's get into the first question, and one that was asked about 24 times. How do I motivate myself to stream? How do I motivate myself to stream to 0 viewers? How do I motivate myself in general to be a content creator? Well, I kind of want to make a full video about this as well, but I think it's super important to cover since you guys asked it so often. The number one way that you can motivate yourself to be a content creator or do anything in life is to understand this one rule. Motivation is bullshit. Motivation is a word used by people who have succeeded, people who are gurus, educators, and teachers to make you feel like you aren't working hard enough. They say there needs to be some Zen mindset that sets you up to be able to create work and create content. No, that doesn't exist. Motivation is shit. Motivation at its core is just a reason for you to want to do something. And yeah, sometimes those reasons will instantly cause you to fall flat. For example, if you are streaming to make money or creating content to make money, then you're probably not going to be motivated to do it, or you're not going to want to do it because there's no money involved when you're streaming to 0 people or even just a small amount of people. There's still very little. So therefore, that reasoning is what's causing you to stop. If you want to be motivated, there are a few tactics and techniques that I use, but honestly, at its core, you just need to find a good reason to do it. So back to the question, how do I motivate myself? Well, every single morning, I wake up, I get my notepad, I get my phone, I make a coffee, and I sit down and I make a list of everything I have to do that day. Not every little thing. I'm not going to schedule in bathroom breaks, but I make a list in the sense that I say, do the dishes, make the bed, hang out the washing, write a title for my stream, plan a talking point, make lunch, reply to YouTube comments, post a social tweet. And I keep going with that list. And I start on the easy things, the things like doing the dishes, and I work my way up. This process of setting up my entire day with a coffee and everything gets me in the headspace to start working. This might not work for you, but these small steps then get the ball rolling. Once I've done the dishes, making the bed's easy. Once I've made the bed and done the dishes, yeah, I can write a title for my stream. If I've written a title for my stream, then I'll just quickly throw together a go live at the same time. I'll change my tags. Oh, my stream's good to go on that sense. Maybe I'll quickly do some talking points, which I can think of while I do other things. Once you're in this headspace, it's no longer about motivation or having a reason to do something. It's about a routine. This is every single day for the past 12 months that I've gone live on a graph. I have only missed 12 days. 5 of those days was because I was very sick. 5 of those days was the Christmas holidays, which meant I couldn't stream because no one was around, everyone was with their family. And then just this last week, I took 2 days off for the first time to have a real vacation. So in 12 months, my very first 12 months of streaming, 260 days I was supposed to stream. And I streamed 248. Not all of them were 3 hours or 5-hour streams. Some of them were just an hour here, but I went live every single time. I did my best. It was a routine. That's all. I wasn't motivated to get out there and do that. It was just, I set a routine and I stuck to a routine, and that allowed me to focus on it. I know not everyone's going to be lucky enough to be able to set a routine and stick to it. So Hopefully you can glean some idea from this though. One of the later questions asked something similar to setting this all up, so I'll cover it again in a bit. Okay, that was a bit of a tough one to start with, so let's get into one with some really actionable steps for you. How do you improve your confidence and how do you practice speaking without going live or without having that pressure attached to it? Well, I did something that no one in my family or not even my wife knows that I did. Every single day for about 3 months when I first started streaming, I got my phone, I set it down and I recorded myself for 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes without any preparation whatsoever. Just recorded myself and went for it. I didn't watch it back the same day. The next day, I sat down, I watched the entire 10 minutes without speeding up, without doing anything. And then straight into the next one without any preparation, I recorded another 10 minutes. And I did this literally over and over and over again. And I saw myself improve. I became more comfortable with my own voice. I became more comfortable with how I looked and how I felt. It built up so much confidence for me. And I never posted it anywhere. I never showed anyone. I never asked anyone for feedback. I did it entirely just by myself in my office. And the reason I did that was because it took all the pressure away. There was no fear of failing. It just gave me time to practice. It wasn't going live. And I'm not going to show you guys. Don't ask in the comments. Seriously, I really recommend you give this a go and you stick to it. 10 minutes every day, no preparation, watch back the next day and go again. You will notice huge improvements. The next question is, what are some known taboos for streamers when they're trying to grow? I'm going to try and not get too intense about this one, so bear with me. The biggest taboo, we all know it. Self-promo. Stop self-promoting in other people's Twitch chats, other people's Discords, other people's Twitter threads. Just stop pushing your go lives onto others. Nobody is going to check out your stream if you join their chat, never speak, and the first thing you say is, great stream, but I'm going live right now, so I have to go. It's not subtle, it's cringy, it happens too much, guys. Please. And on that note, I have to throw it out there. Stop joining other communities just for the sake of hoping that those people will become your viewers as well. It's fine to join a community and make friends. But if you're joining it purely so that the people in that community will come and watch you as well, there's something wrong with that, guys. Try and make friends, not make viewers, because otherwise you're just using people. Another big taboo is stop reaching out to people when the benefit is solely for you. Now, I'm going to explain this one more in a little bit when we get to the question you guys asked about sponsorships. But essentially, if you reach out to someone and you've got nothing to offer them, but you want something in return from them, a huge favor, effort, a shout out, anything like that, well, then you're probably going to get ignored. Or worse, you're going to get blocked by that person. And you clearly respect them if you're asking for something. But more importantly, if you reach out and you ask and they don't reply, do not send a follow-up message insulting them, calling them awful names, or saying disgusting things. Then you really will get blocked and you're going to make a terrible name for yourself. And you're probably thinking, Eljay, we don't need to talk about this. You don't need to say this to us. My Twitter DMs would say opposite. As I said, this relates to a question that's coming up soon about how to get sponsors on Twitch. But first, I want to throw it out there. I had a question come in saying, how do I get a free overlay that doesn't have a webcam? That is easy. All you have to do is go to our Discord, go to the free overlays section, download it, install it using the video. And when you have it installed, go down to this little eye here and click it. That's a free overlay with no webcam. On the same topic though, if these videos help you out at all, consider checking out the rest of the content on this channel. We have guides about everything streaming related. And if we don't, then there's more coming soon. So subscribe. The next question is, when should I reach out to sponsors? And that is a huge question. It was asked a lot and really it's too much to unpack in a Q&A. So I'm just gonna give you guys some quick guidelines and maybe we'll make a full video on it in the future. The reality is reaching out too early can really hurt you. And you might be thinking, Eljay, what's the worst they can do? Not reply? Say no? No, it's more than that. They can blacklist you and actually tell others as well not to work with you. Usually they'll do this if it's considered spam or if your way of reaching out isn't polite or perfect. Personally, I feel like if you have less than 100 viewers, it's probably best to not look for sponsors, not even reach out to them. Because I feel like sponsors come to you once they see that you start having value in the industry. And the reason I say this is because to get a sponsor or even a collaborator with another streamer, you need to have some sort of value to offer them. And when I say that, I don't mean you need to pay them or do anything like that. You just need to have something that benefits them equally as what you're going to get from it. It could be a loyal audience who are going to buy the sponsor's product or who are going to go and watch the other streamer you collaborate with. It could even just be that you have a service they need, such as these videos and the way I get sponsored by Owned. It's really important to think hard about what value you're getting out of something and what value the person you're asking for is getting out of it. But also how much work they're going to have to do. If you reach out and you have the coolest idea ever, but it is an insane amount of work for the other person, they're probably going to say no to it because they just don't have the time or the energy to invest in something like that. If you want to start collaborating or working with someone, the best thing you can potentially do is to just start without them. Oh, hey, I edited one of your VODs down to a bunch of highlights. If you want it, go for it. Just credit me. Oh, hey, look at this funny meme I made from this large streamer. This is honestly the best way to start doing it. Create art, create music, maybe start reviewing a sponsored product that you have your hands on already. People will take notice of that hard work, and they'll take notice of the fact you haven't made it a lot of work for them. And it's probably one of the best ways to start connecting and collaborating. A lot of my original jobs that I got as a filmmaker, I got because I just started making free projects for people. When you do this, it becomes minimal work for the sponsor or the larger creator. It becomes huge value for them as well. It's great for you because it makes you look like you're incredibly hardworking and the kind of person they want to work with. And if they do use it, they'll credit you. And if they don't use it, you can still post and share all the stuff. It's a win-win way of networking and potentially growing. It won't work every time, but I really do think when you're a smaller streamer or a smaller creator, it's one of the best ways to start working your way up. If you want to know more about sponsorship, we actually have a page on StreamScheme that is literally just a whole index of every single sponsorship opportunity that we've seen out there. So check it out. But before we get into my #1 tip that you guys asked for, yes, I haven't forgotten. We do have to cover a bunch of quick fire ones. I want to smash through some of the most important ones you guys have asked me. Should I raid people who are bigger than me, or should I raid people who I don't know? Raiding people you know will always work better than raiding randoms. If you raid a random person, they may not feel comfortable shouting you out because they don't know what type of content you are and what your values are. However, if you raid someone you know, they're much more comfortable to say, hey, go check out Lufits, go check out Bootyman69. Seeing these names come up who are part of the community when you raid someone definitely makes me more likely to shout them out. But what size should you be to raid someone is very, very tough because obviously there are a lot of different things at play there. But I think really the rule of thumb for me is if I have 10% of the viewers, I would feel comfortable raiding someone. And maybe that's not the case for everyone, but that's just me. If you have 15 viewers, I think raiding those people into a 150 viewer streamer is totally fine. And if the 150 person doesn't feel okay with that, well then you probably don't want to work with them anyway, because 15 viewers is a huge amount of viewers to give someone, especially when that's 10% of your audience. How do I make friends on Twitch? This is an awesome question, and if you find an answer, please tell me. I'm joking, of course. Honestly, the best way to find friends on Twitch is by joining people's communities and discords and not just assuming that everyone there is the community for you. I know this is going to sound odd, but not every community is going to fit you. I know there are some communities that I just do not fit into. I try and find ones that have similar interests, similar likes, and similar vibes, and it's okay to move between a couple different communities until you find that place for you. But that's seriously the best way to do it. Join discords and find one that fits your interests. You'll be good to go. How do you find inspiration for your content? Well, I'm going to cover this again in like 30 seconds with the final question, but most of my inspiration comes from my experiences, whether it is the fact that I'm trying to do something in Streamlabs OBS and I'm struggling with it, so I make notes the entire time to make a video on, or in real life, maybe I go on a weird Uber ride and I write it down and I use it as a story in my stream. Experiences create content. How much preparation do you do for your content? Do you ever just wing it? You might be thinking, well, you're getting a Q&A, so surely this is all just winging it. Or you're a live streamer, so surely this is all just winging it. Nope, I prepare everything. Not obviously scripted, but even these answers, I've carefully thought about how I should reply and have them here as a guide. When I'm live, you guys know I have jokes and talking points and everything written down in front of me. Preparation is key for me to be confident because I've dealt with anxiety my entire life, and having that confidence is very, very important. When I started out, I had to do a lot more preparation to fill 3 to 5 hours of stream or to make these videos, but now I have to prepare a little bit less as I've gotten more natural with it. Eljay, what do you think of the VIP feature? I love the VIP feature. This is the last one before we get to our big final tip, but the VIP feature is a great way to shout someone out and give them a special little place in your chat. Although I will say 2 things. Always ask your mods what they think of someone before you VIP them in private, just in case, because mods tend to have a really good understanding of your community that you won't get to see. And the second thing, make sure you have something like Streamlabs Cloudbot's link permission and link control on, because VIPs will be able to post and break rules and do everything unless it's on an external moderation. Seriously, it's very important to set those 2 things up, and you might be thinking, well, I'm not going to make someone a VIP unless they're a good person. I 100% agree, however, people change. Okay, you've got me. I was asked 33 times what my #1 tip for all streamers was. But a more important question I was only asked once. And that is, what is the #1 thing you see new streamers not invest in that they really should be? So today, my #1 tip and the answer to the other question, I don't see streamers invest in themselves and their own experiences nearly enough. This might sound strange to you, but I promise you, if you're struggling to be entertaining, engaging, have things to talk about, if you're struggling with streaming, take a step back, cut down some of the time you're live, cut back some of the time you're watching this video, and focus on yourself. If all you ever do is live and breathe streams, which at times is what I've done, you will find yourself really struggling to entertain other people. There are two sides to this piece of advice. There's skills and there's experiences. Let's cover skills. Skills are crucial. There is so much more to being a streamer and a content creator these days that is not even thought about when you start out. You think it's just about playing a game while live, and I totally thought that when I first started as well. But as you go, you realize there's more you have to do. You have to practice presenting, you have to practice improv, you have to learn how to market yourself, how to film, edit, push clips to different places, how to engage one-to-one with new viewers. There's so much you have to learn. And that's not including cameras and lighting, which are their own subsets and break down into so much more information that you have to learn. But the beautiful thing about all of these things that you have to learn, all these skills, is there are people out there who have tutorials and guides on them, which means you can learn from them for free. The second side is experiences, and that's going out and doing things that'll allow you to become a more well-rounded person so you can talk and entertain more people, different types of people. Maybe your experience is simple. You go for a walk every single day and you take note of what you see and what you do so you can talk about it later. Maybe you start a new hobby online and start connecting with people in a Discord or a forum or at a club. Even just listening to podcasts or watching interesting videos that you love and are passionate about to talk about later is the same as becoming a more well-rounded person. Because the things that you love and are passionate about are the things that you can use to relate, engage, and communicate to other people who love those things as well. There is a fact in my stream community that everyone agrees with. Tuesday nights, the very first night of the week that I go live, is the best stream that I put on in the entire week. It's because I've had 2 days off over the weekend to listen to podcasts, go for walks, go out with friends, play games, hang out, do different things, and spend so much time not thinking about streaming that has given me things to do while I stream. Tuesdays, I come back re-energized and ready to entertain. And it's all because of those 2 days I spend doing things that allow me to talk about stuff throughout the week. So invest time in yourself as a person, whether it's your skills or your experiences, because that is what is going to take you the long distance when it comes to being a streamer. But not even just for streaming, because being a well-rounded person and having things you love and hobbies, well, it'll take you a long way in life as well. Okay, that was a bit of a deep one to end on, but there are so many questions that I haven't been able to cover today. I hope this helped you guys out. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. Check out our other content on the channel. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.